Hi friends, it's Colleen, and today I did not really plan this video. I don't really know what exactly I want to say, but hi. So here we are again. It has been a couple months since I have posted something here, and I know I just made a whole video about how I was kind of coming back and having a lot of ideas and figuring things out, but unfortunately, that hasn't really panned out. I do have a bunch of footage that I've been sitting on and a bunch of ideas that I got all the stuff for but just haven't even filmed yet. I think I just want to kind of share a little bit more about what's going on and why this keeps happening. I've just sort of come to the conclusion that I've tried to share things on this channel in a way that felt comfortable to me. I've tried to talk about some of the stuff that I've been going through in the past couple years, but I just feel like I've hit a point where this is just clearly, I'm just not okay. And of course, my inclination, as you have seen if you've been around on this channel for a long time, my inclination is to just kind of hide and work through what I need to work through and come back when or if I'm feeling ready. And the great part about that is, I get the time I need and the space and the distance and whatever it is I think I need in the moment. The problem is that there are other people around me who don't know what's happening or why. So I think this is just my attempt to lean into this instead of hide from you, because I've been hiding from you and I am just getting kind of tired of it. So yeah. So some of the things that I've been going through involve other people in my life. So I of course want to protect their privacy, and I don't want to share anything that's not mine to share. So I'm not really going to get into intimate details of things, but I do want to talk about things that have affected me. And I think just the whole point of this video, I feel like I probably need to give you a point before listening to me babble, but I feel like the whole point of this, here it is. So I'm not doing well, and that's okay. Life has many seasons, and the season I'm in right now is just, most things in my life just don't feel good right now, and I'm okay with that. I'm figuring out a way to work through everything, but I do think that it's really important that we talk about these moments. What I'm going through is not unique. I'm not the only person in the world who's gone through what I'm going through. What I'm going through is not the worst thing in the world. There are people going through many worse things than me, and have been dealt very different hands in life. It's important to acknowledge all of that. But again, the way that I'm responding to this stuff and the way that I'm working through it, I feel might be able to help somebody. And that is why I'm sitting here, I guess. I really, I tried kind of putting notes together for this, but I wasn't expecting to sit down today. So, sorry, I'm really stumbling. I have not filmed anything in a couple months. So whoo, hi. Yeah. So I don't want to make any promises with this video. I'm not trying to say I'm back for good now or whatever. I just think that this is really important to talk about. And I'm just hoping that this resonates with people, and I think it's good for me to practice showing up when I feel bad and working with what is going on in my life rather than hiding it or hiding from all responsibilities and working against myself and against you, because that isn't fair. So I feel in order to fully capture everything, I kind of need to back up a lot. So I guess 2017, I guess, is the last time I kind of had normalcy. So 2017, I worked a lot on getting myself more organized, I was making monthly blog posts to Broke for Beauty, updating on my progress. I was making videos quite often. It wasn't super consistent, but like I was excited to be here. I was doing my thing. At the same time, I was kind of going through like a quarter life crisis, which is like exactly what you would expect when you're 25. So I was like questioning a lot in my life of like the greater path, but in general, like I was doing pretty well. And at the end of the year, end of 2017, I wrote a draft of an ebook, basically just like kind of capturing some lessons I learned. Like it was really just meant for the people who follow those blog posts and like kind of wanted it in a more like high level book format. And it was a way for me to like practice because my goal has always been to write books. Okay, so 2018 starts, I go ahead and file all the paperwork to start my LLC. I made a video about it on this channel. And, you know, like I said, like a lot of this was for self-publishing, but part of it was also to kind of formalize all the things that I do outside of work. And it was also a way for me to take the money that I get from this channel and other things that I do and like funnel it back into something. So I made that decision. In hindsight, it was probably a little bit too soon, but like, that's okay, I'll get there. but I felt like I just needed that kick to really, really focus on it. So that's what I did. However, about 4 months after this, so yeah, we're getting to like April 2018, my boyfriend had a really traumatic event at his workplace. So again, like, you know, it's his thing to tell. I don't want to tell anything that's not mine, but like life or death level traumatic. And so I ended up, obviously my life kind of pivoted around like helping him work through that, but also then I ended up with like secondhand trauma over it and I was having nightmares about it and like, I'm not going to give that to him. So I started working through kind of things that things that came up for me, as well as trying to be a good support for him. And yeah, that definitely put a pause on things here and in other places in my life. Once that felt like it was kind of getting a little bit more manageable, so I'm talking like maybe summertime, I started a new blog called Empower Writing. And I think that was just a way for me to just like reignite that motivation I had in myself, find a way to get excited about having this LLC again, and like finding ways to continue to work on things outside of my job that give me fulfillment. So I jumped into making that blog. I spent like a whole weekend putting it together and felt really good. And like, there, you know, more ups and downs, of course, but like in hindsight, definitely that was a time of like, I was going through a lot of uncertainty, I was going through a lot of trauma, and like the way that I work through that / distract myself from it is I like find a new project or something that I can just like sink my teeth into and have that consume my life instead, because that is something that I can control, whereas everything else I can't. Okay, so now we're at the end of 2018. It's like December and I'm like ready to like focus on the new year and be ready to wrap up what felt at the time to be kind of like one of the worst times in my life. But another set of news came and more trauma was to be had. So again, not my thing to share, but this was now a family issue. My dad was going through a really bad time. And the way that he handled that was, it basically would just torpedo my life over and over and over all through 2019. So, now we have two big things with people I love that I have no control over. I have no way to help them. And it completely pulls me away from what I'm trying to do, because I will think that things are settling, I will get my footing again, and then one of these two things would swoop in and like carry me away again back into like crazy land where I can't get out of bed. So so in the summer of this past year, I had gotten through what I thought was kind of like the worst of it. Like we'd kind of had some ups and downs through end of 2018 until like end of May was when it got really, really bad. Like I had to fly down there and like help my dad and my stepmom, and I got back and I got an email about doing a sort of challenge for, I think it was month of June, to start an online course and like learn how course building works. And like making online courses and teaching was always something that I had considered getting into, and I kind of thought like, oh yeah, maybe someday I would get there. But like, because it came at this time when I was like, okay, I like put this away, like I went through this thing, it was really hard, and working through it, oh my God, like what perfect timing. Like here's this signal that this is like a good next step for me. So I went into that. I made a free course for Empower Writing, and then I started getting to work on a longer course, which I didn't finish until I think September. So yet again, this is like another moment where in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, clearly that's problematic because I was, struggling personally. I was struggling to feel in control, and I needed to feel something exciting and new and something that would make me feel like I could make progress on a thing and like would take my attention and my efforts and my mental energy, and I could just like put all of that somewhere that felt productive to me. A little after I finished that longer course, so this is like, I guess August to September, my boyfriend and I started a podcast. So hooray, another project. But that project, that idea had been brewing since I think about April, and that one's fun, and like that one still is like pretty low stress, but yeah, it's just another thing on my plate. So I feel like I just kept gathering new things to do, and none of them are, if you can tell thus far, are writing books. So that's neat. But anyway, that's kind of what I did. Like, that's just the way that I was coping with everything going on. And I was getting a lot of really awful phone calls. I was like having to like get a bad phone call and then share things with other people and like relive bad conversations over and over. It was just like, I just needed something that didn't ruin my life. But my current problem is that all the things that are devastating are not things that I can ever see coming. Like, they're not things that I feel that I am equipped to really handle in a healthy way that allows me to like continue to make this space for myself in my life. That is a me problem. I'm trying to work on that, but like that's where I'm at right now, and like that's why I'm not doing well, is I don't know how to draw a line around what I'm doing and manage this in a healthy way without diving into something new and adding yet another thing to my plate in an effort to just get away from the like really traumatic, awful, emotional stuff. So all this came to a head when I decided I needed to take some time off of my job. Because, at this point, this has all been kind of affecting my job, and I had tried my best to keep everything going, but I just needed something to just turn off for a bit. And my job was like the easiest, like best, most convenient way I could do that. So I did. I took a month off of work. And I imagined that would be my catch-up time for these videos, that I could be kind of like getting back to a good headspace where I could be kind of dreaming up what I want to do again, maybe think of some book projects, maybe consolidate everything else. Like, I really wanted that time to heal and explore and just kind of find my groove again. But unfortunately, in an effort to not put a lot of burden on my coworkers, I chose to take my month off, where almost half of it was holidays. So obviously, like, my time went to my family and to socializing and to visiting people. And so I just felt like a lot of that time got eaten up. Again, that like definitely a me problem. It has nothing to do with the people in my life. I just didn't know how to put those walls up, but also just to give myself a break. So I did take that month off. It was really nice. And a lot of what I've been doing now is I've been doing things like cleaning, because when I'm really depressed, like, I don't clean. And I also just like need to learn better maintenance skills and like keeping my living space clean. I also have been doing a lot of stress crafting. Like, I made 2 sweaters, so like you can tell how not okay I was because I made two sweaters, but also super fun. I have been actually evangelizing about stress crafting ever since, because it's a really great way when you can't get out of bed and just want to like sit and watch TV. you can just like knit or crochet at the same time and not feel like a complete failure of a human being. So highly recommend stress crafting. And it's just kind of fun to go to make something just for making it. Like there was no point to it. I wasn't trying to like make a video from it or document anything or monetize anything. It was just the joy of making a thing and challenging myself to take my like yarn skills to the next level, because I had been doing yarn stuff for a long time, but like I had never made a sweater. So hey, now I've got to. And it was fun. But yeah, I spent a lot of time on that and on cleaning and other sort of quote like useless things in terms of like me feeling like I have the full rounded life that I'm looking for. So that's kind of how I spent a lot of my time off and a lot of my time leading to my time off. But yeah, then I came back to work and I came back at a horrible time. It was like very, very stressful. It was out of all of my team's control. But I came back into like the middle of a crisis and quickly had to like figure out what's going on and fix that. And in addition to like coming back to a crisis, like yet another thing has popped up in the past week, and I'm like, I have only been back for 3 weeks, and like I just feel I've been really internalizing a lot of this pressure and this self-doubt, and yeah, it's basically just turned into me feeling like I'm failing at being like a creator. I am failing at being a business owner. I'm failing at being a daughter. I'm failing at being a partner. I'm failing at being a coworker. Like it has been building up in me that I just feel like I just can't get anything right now. And that's just like kind of hard to work through. Like it was easier when it was other people's things. And now I'm realizing that all of those things had an effect on me personally, to the point where now I'm internalizing a lot about myself that doesn't feel like me. And like, despite feeling depressed before and like going through a lot of anxiety and like hard times like this, like I've never quite been at a spot where I feel like every corner of my life I'm letting everyone down. Like that is just kind of a new way that this is manifesting. Okay. So I think the reason why I'm doing this today out of all days is I sat down this morning, and today's President's Day. Yeah. So I actually last Friday was my birthday, so happy birthday to me. Last Friday was my 28th birthday, and every year on my birthday for the past few years, I have like done a little bit of journaling, and I even made videos that I put on a different channel where I just talked about like how I feel becoming the next age in my life. A lot of it was to capture like, what am I worried about right now? What is important to me right now, etc. So I was doing that this morning because I clearly missed it last week, and it was not good. It was I just feel like none of this, I just don't care anymore. Like I've had so much pressure, and I just feel like I'm failing so much that I'm like, what even is the point of doing any of this? Like, why am I even trying anything if I'm just screwing everything up? And I sat there and I was thinking about all the steps I would need to take to just completely dissolve my LLC and just like walk away. I knew at the time that wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I still like felt like I needed to walk through those steps. It was like cathartic for me, because I felt like, I mean, what I was really looking for was I wanted the pressure to just stop. Like I wanted to not have all this pressure and these feelings of failure. And so I turned once again to the thing that I can control, which is all my projects and all the things that have until now like fueled me and given me happy things, and right now they don't. And so that's where I was going with it, which is like really awful. But I was just imagining what it would be like to walk away and to just end all of the stuff I do and just like erase myself from the internet, which I know is not possible, but like I was glamorizing it. And I thought that quitting everything was the only way to get out of this. And I sat with that. I talked it out with my boyfriend over lunch, and he's, of course, incredibly supportive. And thinks that I am not a failure, which is lovely. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of just landed on, like, I think what I said earlier in this video. Like, I don't think quitting is the point. I don't think that I actually want to not be doing any of it anymore. I just want to not have the pressure. And what he said to me was, you know, if you need a break, you can take a break. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I've been taking breaks. Like, I haven't been making videos. I haven't been doing anything. I don't know if that's really, like, the way that I'm taking breaks is just, like, apparently not good enough or just not working. Like, I don't know what I'm not doing right. And that's when I realized, like, I think what I need is not really a break. It's, I need to figure out what out of all these projects I actually need to be here for, what makes me happy. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, I've been talking about wanting to do different things on this channel. I've said all these things before. Like, I'm not trying to, like, make excuses or make empty promises or do anything drastic. I just wanted to actually share, because this stuff's been really affecting me, and I think all of us go through these periods where, like, things are just not working, and that's okay. Like, it's okay that I'm feeling this way. It's temporary if I make it temporary. I mean, I could choose to sit in this the rest of my life, but, like, I've got a lot of years ahead of me. I'm going to try not to do that. But the point is, like, you know, we all go through these times. There are some times in your life when you are feeling really good, and there are some times in your life when you're not. And I've just happened to be in a very, very long area of life in which things are just generally not great. And I almost wish that the issues were with me. Like, I really, it would be so much easier to handle this if it didn't have to do with so many people I love. And in addition to, like, myself being torn apart by all of this, I'm actively watching people I love around me also getting torn up by the exact same problems that I'm going through. And that is really hard. Like, I think I haven't really made room for myself in that, because I've been so focused on my dad and my boyfriend. And you know, I'm getting the space I need from these situations, I think. But, like, at the expense of, like, I don't talk to my dad right now very much. And sorry, this is like, whew, it's really hard to have to make that kind of decision, even though you know it's the right thing, and even though, I mean, I think he knows it's the right thing. I hope he knows. But it's just hard, and it's like I feel guilty for getting that space for myself, and I feel guilty because I know he doesn't want this either. And I think he thinks that I want this or whatever, but it's just hard. We all have to kind of face these choices and find ways to work with what we're going through. And so I think I just have been really focused on either pretending or covering it up with new, exciting, fun projects that I can't finish and then make me miserable because I have too many things, or hiding from all responsibility and pretending that that's okay. So that's just where I'm at. I hope that means something to somebody who's watching this. So, like, if you're going through a time like this, like, it's okay. And, like, all of this, I know logically this is temporary, and I'm going to work through all of this. I'm going to pick myself back up. I'm going to continue trying. Right now, I just feel like no will to try, and, like, it's normal and it's okay. And I know that a lot of us get so hard on ourselves when we have moments like this. And following the path that I was in this morning when I was like, how can I quit everything? We all do that, you know? And I think that is sort of like, you're not supposed to talk about it, you know? Like, I think it's fine. I think people would be fine with me sharing these things, but not as, like, not the dark part of it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I just think that that's so important, because the dark part of it is the problem. Like, that is why I haven't been here, and that is why I've been dipping in and out of everything I do and not reaching my potential in the way that I know myself and I know that I want to be. So Anyway, so this has been a lovely video. All the ideas I had last time are still here. All of the footage I filmed in the past 2 months is still here. I'm still figuring out like what my next steps are, but at least I've done this. And I think when I was talking about wanting to do different things with my channel, I think this is part of it. Like, I think showing the things I'm working through is part of me, and it's part of like my connection with you. And all the dumb crap I'm doing, like making all my sweaters, I'm also trying to learn to play the piano. So like I'm doing a lot of weird shit as a way for me to like find joy in my life again. But like why wouldn't I share that? Like I'm starting to just have these moments of like, why am I being so strict with myself about what I'm allowed to share? And like, am I doing a disservice to other people by not talking about this and by not showing up as my full self, where like I'm sitting here, no makeup on, like pretty much crying at you this whole time, and that's me too. Like, this is it. So that is it for this video. Thank you for being here. If you have gotten through this, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you, so thank you. And yeah, you can find me at a lot of social media things that I'll put down in the description box. I spend most of my time on Instagram, and I think that is where I've been sharing a little bit more of the personal stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, and I post a lot of stories and stuff too, go to Instagram. That's where you'll find more about me, because I'm probably not able to do this every day, but I will show up on Instagram pretty much every day. So anyway, wow, I really don't know how to film a video anymore, but that is it. Thank you very much. You can find me at all my social media down below, and I will see you in the next video. And yes, there will be another one. Bye.